one of my passions, hearing Mark kind of usher in, like, it's supposed to be fun. You know, we're supposed to be teaching these kids how to play and use their bodies well. Well, as coaches, what you're gonna see is you'll go to teach a defensive slide drill, and all the kids are doing this right here. They're in their thoracic, they're hunched, they're in their knees, and so they're gonna have trouble doing the skill. So if we can get you guys through these series, I try to keep it as simple as possible, through these series of movements, the new hot topic in sports medicine is, can we activate the proper kinetic change? So how the brain connects to all the joint sensors in the body, because the way God designed it, if you put the body through the right pattern, then the skill you teach is gonna be like that, right? The kids these days have to sit in chairs all day. They're looking at phones, they're playing video games. So to get in a proper defensive slide and get in their hips is gonna feel foreign to their nervous system. Now, I don't want you to be intimidated as a coach to go, I don't know how to teach these things, because I tried to pour over this and make it as simple as possible, and each year we'll probably change a couple things. And we split it into two pieces. We have the activation exercises and the dynamic stretching. And I know when kids come out on the field and you only have an hour of practice, you may only be able to do the dynamic stretching, because overall this is going to take about 15 minutes. But I will say, as a coach of basketball, lacrosse, and flag football, this type of stuff gets my athletes better prepared than some of the kicking drills, because they played Fortnite till midnight. We got to prime them, we got to get them going, we got to get them moving, and just static kicking to each other isn't going to get them there. So you see them kick into gear in the second phase of the game because their nervous system's finally awake. So what Mark and I have talked about is, what would a top tier program look like? And this is what the top tier programs are going. So to start off, we got 2 sets of cones. We don't have them here, but you'll set up 2 sets of cones. And then we're gonna warm up with, give me a 20-yard jog up and back. So you're just gonna have your kids jog past the cones, and he's gonna circle, because you know with kids, they're gonna run into each other. So probably 2 rounds of jog, okay? And we're going right into run in place after this. So then Kai and I are gonna do it together. We're gonna go run in place, but you're really trying to get them to bounce through their heel. See that bouncy nature? And squeezing their core. So everybody could be lined up facing each other now on 2 sets of cones. So you're gonna look really professional as well as a team. If your coach is in the middle, running the drill, and the kids are facing each other, right? All right, Kai, now we're gonna go here. So let's face this way, like we're facing our other team. And we're gonna do jumping jacks, but we're really trying to keep those knees open. 15 seconds. It's gonna help the lateral muscles fire and engage. Get that arm movement going. 15 seconds there. Now with bouncing feet, what you're trying to get them to do is bounce through their heel and ankle. Achilles injuries, pain at the heel is very common in soccer. All right, Kai, let's bounce. And let's bounce and use our arms. And then let's shift our hips. This hip shift, this pelvic rotation is so key in soccer, that swivel. And when I analyze kids who are heading off to play college, a lot of them still don't have it at that level. Okay, take a break there. Now we're gonna line up again. Kids will be all behind each other because we're gonna close the gate. Go ahead and close the gate. So all the way down, the minute one kid goes, the next kid goes. So imagine the look of a team that, 1, doesn't argue with the refs, 2, is always positive, playful, but shows up and does a dynamic warm-up. And I really think it sets a standard. Now let's go in reverse, open the gate. So this rotational capacity, you want an athlete to better pass in their hip. Don't just make them pass in their hip. You know, show them how to do it. And as adults, this is really good for us because it gets us out there engaging with them. All right, we're gonna bound through the knee, Kai. This one's hard for a lot of kids. So we're gonna tell them, think of like a Muay Thai fighter. We're gonna bound through, one leg only. Okay, and if you have time, do it 2 ways, but Kai, let's do the left, switch it up. He's driving that opposite arm. You see that? Very easy. And the last one, we're gonna do them both together. Just like that. So at this point, the athlete is panting, their nervous system is excited, and it's gonna beat jogging around one time and then doing this. This is the 1960s, and if we watch what Manchester United does, this is the kind of stuff they do, is they prime that nervous system. Now the next part is your most important part, in my opinion, if you're short on time, and that's the dynamic stretching. That's 3-second holds max, sport-specific movements. We're not static stretching, but you can tell the athlete any one of these next moves they can hold longer to recover after the game, okay? So to do these, all right, Kai, I'm gonna talk to Kai like he's a 5-year-old. Kai, your mom just made you carry in a bunch of groceries, and you're gonna hold the groceries in both hands. You're gonna squeeze your belly, your feet are gonna be shoulder width apart, and you're gonna close the car door. Keep that chest up, Kai. You got the door closed. Now we got Kai in a hip hinge. So in the female athlete, if we can keep their hips active, the knee doesn't go into valgus strain, we don't get a non-contact ACL tear, because we're activating this lateral chain. All right, Kai, now that we're here, we gotta counterbalance it. We're gonna throw our arms forward. So in real time, they're gonna just hold it forward, 10 seconds of a hip hinge hold, facing each other. While they're holding, you could be talking to them, telling about their thoughts for the week, the thoughts for the game. You're running the middle of the line, coaching them, you know, back down, and then we're gonna go side step. We're gonna go out here, Kai, and we're gonna walk to the side. Go ahead, 5 steps. And so now you're getting those lateral hip muscles. Go back the other way, Kai. Now we're gonna go a little wider, Kai. Sumo, closing the car door. Now we're gonna pump our arms. And so the real thing is, this is a hamstring stretch, but it's pairing the arm motion. All right, Kai, now we're gonna swing and get to one hip, like a speed skater, and swing to the other hip, 5 times. And so you want the athlete to stay back here, not what you'll see a lot is this. So it's say, get back to your door close, or imagine there's a stool way behind you. And so you see these lateral groin lengthening here with hip activation here in a lot of the big programs. All right, Kai, we're all done with the hips. Now we're gonna walk slow backwards. Like we're trying to make a Bigfoot imprint and fool somebody. We're gonna really press that foot into the ground. Now, as I know, a lot of this, you may have to pick your favorite moves. It's not ideal, the ref's not there, the kids are late, but I'm giving you the ideal. Then we can try over the seasons to pare it down. But that being said, I just gave you everything. Worst case scenario, we do this in practice, like Mark was saying, to make the first 10 minutes more purposeful. And it really, with my kids I coach, it wears them down so they get the wiggles out of them, and then they're locked in for you that next hour and 15, okay? Walking lunge, we're gonna step out, reach up. So step out. The fronts of the hips are probably the biggest thing I see. Go ahead and step, keep stepping, Kai. 3 seconds each. If you do this stretch and the hip hinge drill alone, you're giving the athlete a gift, because they've been sitting, compressing and shortening these muscles most of their day. So if you teach them how to open those hips, you now have an athlete who can stride. If this is him to this, and you're like, open up, get downfield, and you see a lot of this, right? So you gotta let them have the gift of a nervous system that allows the locomotor to run. The second biggest one being the hip hinge, because every sport I work with, getting an athlete to get in their hips and be buoyant and make a move is so hard. And some of that's developmental as well, but we can teach them. So the last one being directional change. Kai, we're gonna bring it all together. Hip hinge, hip swivel, with a directional change. Go ahead. Get in your hinge. First time's very slow. It's getting the pelvis to turn. On the way back, Kai, I want you to go full speed. Because if you have defense and you sports, you have everything, right? So if you can get these kids to move laterally and wake that up, you can make so many stops, okay? So I'm available for questions. I'll even leave it open to question and answer now. We're gonna, because we're videoing,